Hello, my name is Sarah Stoker. I am the writer of the newsletter, If You Know, You Know. My goal is to make learning about AI feel more like a coffee chat, even though we're missing coffee, rather than a textbook newsletter, all of that. So today I have the joy and privilege of speaking with my friend, and this is our first in-person human side of AI. But I have the joy of speaking with my friend Katie. She's the CEO of LendTech, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her company, why we're here, how do we meet, all of the things and more. So I'm so glad you're here, and stay tuned. Hi, Katie. How's it going?
Good.
Happy Thursday.
Yeah. Thanks for coming to hang out with me.
Santa Monica. Let's go. Okay, Katie, where did we meet?
Yeah.
When was it? Give us a little timeline of our background.
I actually don't remember the first time. When was it? A year
Neither
ago?
do I. That's why I asked you the question. I was like, when did we meet? It feels like a lifetime ago because I run into you at events all the time in LA, and it makes me so happy when I walk in and I see someone that I know.
Yes.
I'm like, yes.
Basically, you came into my life and you just always felt like you existed there before. I think maybe we first met last summer at one of my walks, when you came to my walks. Yes. So community events.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So in addition to doing LendTech, I run something called 2 to 20, which is a network for female founders and investors. Some of the events, I guess stepping back, originally it started out of starting an event during LA Tech Week last year.
That's right. That was fun.
It was a really good time. Maybe that was the first time?
Yeah. Okay.
One of these events. And what came out of it, though, was that 700 women RSVP'd to my first event. And so I saw that there was a really large demand for women that wanted to connect around technology, startups, being founders, being investors, like how do we get more women active on cap tables? And so I've both informally and formally been throwing events for the last year, focused on women founders and female funders.
They're very fun. Those walks were good times. I mean, that could be me just walking up to a stranger on the beach. Who knows?
We never know.
We never know. Tell us about LendTech.
Yeah, so LendTech it's based out of my background in real estate and finance. I'm
Commercial, residential?
Both. So I primarily focused on residential, but from a commercial lending perspective. So I both worked on the development of multifamily product, did brokerage and investment sales, and then went into lending. So most recently was at a
what
lender.
What don't you do?
Come
on.
I've been busy.
Yes, she has.
So it really came out of my background working in lending. Most recently, I was at a lender here in Los Angeles. We got acquired by a private equity firm, and we did an audit of our firm, and we saw that we were spending millions of dollars on kind of unnecessary software across the entire life cycle of a loan. And so that's really what inspired me to start LendTech, which is both a B2B SaaS and a fintech company focused on the real estate lending process. And so we, in 2023, launched our B2B SaaS product, which is now what we're currently running.
Congratulations!
And then we're launching our second product this summer as well in several months, which is going to be our more fintech-focused product. So actually the processing of payments in addition to managing the life cycle of a loan.
Wow. And then who's your ideal customer right now? I know it's B2B, but like today, if he was like, someone comes into the door, who do you want them to be? Who's buying your product? It's
typically private lenders, private equity firms, family offices, but basically anybody that's doing lending on real estate for business purposes. So real estate development, rental loans, just not consumer lending essentially.
Got it. Okay.
But we do both work with folks working on the residential and the commercial side of lending.
Oh my goodness. And then, I mean, it is the human side of AI, and you talked a little bit about how you're predicting underwriting predictions, or if that's even a sentence.
Yeah.
Tell me a little about like the AI integrations within your product.
Yeah.
Or the ones you're thinking about, dreaming about.
Yeah. What's really interesting about using AI for our product is that we actually have 4 different modules of our platform. So we do onboarding and verification. We do underwriting. We have analytics, and we have the processing of payments. So technically, AI could be used across all 4 of our modules currently. We're piloting it on about 3 of the modules at the moment. The one place that I would say that we're still a little bit iffy on the use of AI is the actual underwriting of the loans.
Okay.
A lot of the AI tools just aren't quite there enough.
Like actually writing the contract?
No, the actual financial analysis of the loans and doing like the, kind of back end financial analysis of payments, disbursements, that sort of thing. So we're kind of holding off on that until we find, a more solid way to implement AI there.
Mm-hmm.
But really exciting ways are like the verification of borrowers. We're using a lot of AI in terms of like scanning documents and doing contracts. So a lot of the same places that you might see with like legal companies as well. And then we're doing it a lot with just like the typical like process implementation. So like how are we moving borrowers through the process?
Mm-hmm.
So sort of like in a bot type manner.
Yeah.
So we're using it in a few different ways. And we're also using the sort of like digital twin technology. So
Mm-hmm.
how are we actually cloning the data for our borrowers or for our clients?
So you're keeping the data?
Keeping the data, and then how do we clone the data and actually do scenario modeling on the loans prior to executing the loans? So it's really giving our lenders that we're working with a much deeper and clearer view into their own financial health in real time and before executing the loans.
I'm blown away.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Okay, give me one thing you're bragging about. You're like, hey, this is my favorite, whether it's technical, whether it's monetary, whatever that is. One thing that you really want to brag about that LendTech has that you haven't seen somewhere else.
Yeah, I think that there's like 1 or 2 things. One is the significant way in which we are reducing the amount of software that is needed at all in general for lending. A lot of the current lenders on the market have to use a multitude of products strung together that don't have a great way to implement together. So at minimum, we're significantly reducing overhead, which helps when you are thinking about margin and general operating costs for a lender. That's the easiest sell when we're talking about why somebody would want to convert over to our platform. What I'm really excited about is what we're launching this summer, which is the ability to both pair the SaaS product with the servicing side, which just has not been done before.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, these are very separate entities in the business, and we were using 3 or 4 different SaaS products to do what we're currently doing.
Jeez.
And outsourcing our loan servicing to a third-party loan servicer, which
And
now can be
the
done.
data is like all different. They're not speaking to each other.
Yeah.
It's bananas.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we're both, from an operational perspective, making everything more efficient, and then from a financial perspective, we're significantly reducing costs.
Okay. And then let's jump into the human aspect.
Yeah.
What is it like to be a founder and living in Los Angeles? And maybe what advice do you have for aspiring founders?
Yeah. There's so many layers to that. I think there's one.
An onion, if you will.
Yes. Of the layers that we can pull back.
Yes.
I love LA. So I think, right? Like it's just, I think you just have to, one, be happy with where you're living. And that kind of helps follow all the other decisions and way that you lead your company. I will say the one thing, probably for the financial markets, it would maybe make slightly more sense to live in like New York or San Francisco.
Pitch posh.
Yeah. But I love living in LA personally, which has just like made me significantly happier just being in Southern California.
She's from Seattle, so
Yeah.
I wonder why.
It's rainy all the time. So I needed more sunshine in my life. And I'm sure you probably feel this way working in the tech scene in LA, but it has grown dramatically over the last few years. So I really think it made it a place where I actually could start a tech company and be taken seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Both the amount of funders that are here and the amount of founders that are based in Los Angeles. And so I'm proud to be like a female fintech founder based in Los Angeles, because I don't think that there's too many of them here. But
Say it again.
yeah.
And then advice.
There's so much. Part of why I started 2 to 20 was in any capacity that if I could help, not just female founders, everybody, but specifically I love working with female founders. on how to, it took me probably so much longer to go to market than it needed to. The cost at which it was to build probably could be reduced. I think the way that I've thought about my own go-to-market strategy could be probably shifted, especially based on who I'm actually trying to go after. Yeah. So there's a lot of different things I might change about what I would do. But for a lot of founders, I just always say what I waited for until I was ready to start a company was I had the founder industry expertise. I had spent, 10 to 15 years building a background in this business.
When you were 15.
Basically.
Yeah.
Slightly older. And I, personally and financially was ready to pursue the opportunity. It's not for the light of heart to start a company. It's really, it's a brutal process to have the longevity to, both to go after the idea, spend some time actually building the product, getting it to market. It takes a lot of kind of stress on yourself. So I always just say have your support system, be ready to actually really pursue the idea, and be passionate about what you're doing. Because even when it's not fun, you still gotta do it. Still gotta do it.
How do you take care of yourself right now?
It's a great question. I'm working on that constantly.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
I try really hard every day to go for a walk. At least see sunshine. I don't know if feel it. I don't know if that's always the case, but try to get in a few good workouts every week. I know you and I both enjoy. I think I get fuel from social activities as well. So I try to go to a few community events every week, just so I feel in touch with the tech community, because working from home can be sort of isolating as well. So I try really hard to, get out there and just remind myself why we're doing what we're doing.
Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And then who is Katie like at 8? What kind of things were you exploring?
At 8 years old?
8 years old.
Oh my gosh. I was playing soccer.
What position?
I was a midfielder and then a striker.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun. I got really serious. I actually, when I was 8, I had just gone on a really good soccer team, which was and then you started traveling and, you got the jackets for the team, which was a big deal. And I just remember that was one of the times where I was actually felt passionate about something, which was so fun. And so it was I loved being on a team. It was one of my, I know you're an athlete, so I know you can relate.
You're I'm just trying not to interrupt you.
No, this is,
yeah, I know.
Right? This is I think it's part of probably to be a founder too. I feel you have to also you might have also been a captain on a team or
some level of crazy.
Some level and just rallying the troops. Yeah. So I think that was probably what I was doing. I don't know, 8 years old. I love history and museums when I was growing up, and we used to travel a fair bit, and so we would always kind of be going out and doing history museums, and I wanted to be Madeleine Albright when I was little.
There it is.
Yeah, so I always had this vision of being some sort of a powerful female, but I didn't really know how that would unfold.
And it happened.
Yeah.
Did you ever? I don't know I don't want to age yourself or not age yourself, but do you ever listen to the Rick Steves audio tours at all?
Of course. I'm from Seattle.
I know.
Also from Seattle.
That's what my parents did. They would just put us out there Rick Steves can't talk. We're doing this.
Yes.
So big fan of the audio tour.
Yes. What did you want to be like? What were you like when you were 8?
I was just thinking about this because I was driving this morning from proud of myself as a former Division I athlete. I did a big climb up the Santa Monica Mountains this morning and barely got here because I had to glam it up. But I was just pedaling away this morning and biking. I was just so grateful for just the space and kind of, the things that we were talking about. But I really want to be a journalist. I had this
I love that.
little,
I can see that.
Yeah, I had a newspaper. It in our little community like neighborhood, and I would like write about like fictional stories. We had so it was called Rocks a Box, and it's like off a book, and it was very fun. And so I did that, and then I remember like I went to New York for the second time when I was maybe in middle school, and I just pictured me in front of the New York Times building, and I was like, I have to take a picture. I'm like, Mom, get out the digital camera, take a picture of me, because I know I'm going to come back here, and maybe my work will be in the New York Times one day. I don't want to work there. I don't think they're paid that well.
Well, look at you now. You're a content creator.
I know.
You're like your own version of being a journalist. I am a content creator.
The New York Times. I am the whole. No, I distribute it, all of it. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. But it is funny, like the things that you were curious about.
Yeah.
They like if you're still curious about them, like a decade, 2, 3 later, like. Might as well listen to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we're wrapping up, what is the mantra, quote, feeling, whatever you want to be, song that you put on, listen to, write, think about when the days are tough and you're like, I don't want to get out of bed, or whatever that is for you?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Ooh. I don't know. I have like a running playlist that I listen to.
Okay.
I typically, before I even do anything in the morning, I try to go for a short, like 10, 15-minute walk when I wake up. Like before I listen to any news, before I check my emails, before I do anything. And it could just be my rotating playlist, but it's more of just like to like clear space. I'm not really great at meditating. I'm probably too like
talk too much.
Yeah, just like, I'm not great at sitting still. So it's at least my one way where I'm like clearing space for myself. So I think that's more so just like an activity based. I don't know if I have like a mantra about it, but it's like, okay, what can we tackle today? And especially with how fast everything changes with my business, the market, my clients, like I feel like I can only handle so much. Yeah. And so it's looking like, what can I do today to, move forward, take a step forward, make some impact. But it's like, I really have had to like.
Just one day at a time.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot. So.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, Katie, thanks for joining us. Thank you for listening, and hope to see you all soon. All right. Bye.